How you guys doing? What's going on, everybody? Yes, we are starting even earlier, man. We're starting even earlier. So all you MFers, naysayers, heretics can't say shit right now. Nah, man. Nah. We are early. Actually early, man. Literally early. Good to see everybody here in the live. Just see we got so far. William, what's happening, William? Corman, hello. That's right. Once again, I've proven you wrong. Chokehold, what's happening? RPG lovers, my man, how you feeling, man? How you doing? Warzone, hello. Yeah, start on time. I'm always on time. Scrolling down. Epic fail. Hello. No, I'm not. I am not. Cutter, what's going on, man? By 19 seconds. Wow, bro. Wow, Wubsy, man. That's some BS. I show up earlier. Y'all don't care. Man, this is some bullshit. What's going on, Lieutenant Muffin Man? Guys, we got a very special stream for today, actually. If you're paying attention to IG, I posted a little reminder again today. But I am going to have a special guest on with me today. I'm going to have a special guest. What's going on, Victor? Welcome to the stream, dog. I'm going to have a special guest with me. Mario? No, this is a lack of hair gel. I normally try to have it a little more slicked back recently, but I just couldn't be bothered this morning. I was too fucking lazy. So it is what it is. Anthony, hello. Welcome to the stream, man. James Winberry, hello, welcome. Yeah, we got a special stream tonight because I got a special guest for today. I have a special guest scheduled on for tonight's live stream. I don't believe I've ever actually had him on. In the years that I've been doing this, he's one of the few regular Mayo Gang members that I've actually never had, I believe, on the stream as a guest before. So it's going to be very interesting. And again, I have been, in lieu of many new products being released, current trends going on in the airsoft industry, and also the fact that I made dinner and I want to eat my dinner, so I can have somebody else talk while I also eat my dinner. I decided to go ahead and do a guest on for today as well. Come and see us at Dark Soda, August 22nd, epic fail. That sounds fun, man. Your hair doesn't count. Well, your hand doesn't. What do you mean my hand doesn't count? My hand is not the special guest, man. All right, I got a special guest on for today. Was it Dark Fireman admin there? Prime Tech, yeah, what's happening, man? Yeah, dude, I got a special guest for today. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. Possibly not. It could be a surprise to a lot of you. But regardless, make sure to continue spreading the word around to as many people as possible. Let people know what we got going on right now. It's a very fun place to be, and a very interesting topic for today as well. It's kind of interesting. I was listening in to the last Council of Dudes episodes on Squirrely Nuts Airsoft, which, by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed to Squirrely Nuts Airsoft, make sure you guys are doing so. Subscribe to that guy. I fucking love that dude. He had a very interesting, basically podcast talk. That's what the Council of Dudes is, right? He had a very interesting topic talking about, like, the GBRs, everything, making the switch over, your experiences thus far with it. And then also our opinions on it, of course. Cutter as well, if you guys aren't, make sure you're following Cutter too. The guy's freaking awesome. But yeah, I was kind of inspired by that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play off of this. Considering how, like, popular it is right now to make that switch over to GBBs. It's such a hot topic, right? It's so in vogue right now. I figured I might as well go ahead and just do it, Isaias finally revealing his talent. What is my talent? He pulls up a sock puppet. I'm gonna lose it. Yo, that'd be sick. That'd be so cool if I just popped out the sock puppet. Hello, everybody. No, what if I was a ventriloquist? Yo, that'd be insane, bro. If I was a really, really good ventriloquist. Can you imagine? Anyway, speaking of which, I have with me... I'm kidding. Can you imagine if I just popped out the puppet right now? Oh, that'd be hilarious. Oh, that's so funny. No, of course, dude. Yeah, no, I was watching. I couldn't catch it live, Squirrely. I literally went to the gym. And I just started listening. My entire workout was the entirety of the stream that you did. So that was like very cool to listen to. I literally didn't even like listen to music. I was just listening in the entire time on the discussion. So very, very interesting. But yes, my GBR comes tomorrow. The PW won it. Yeah, I know. I saw it. You won it, right? Which, by the way, if y'all aren't already, 6mm Badger is doing another giveaway specifically for a Mayo Gang MGC4 Mark III. That we're working together on this, and expect more stuff together as well. Expect more stuff together from 6mm. It's gonna be very interesting. And also, shout out to RPG. You were the one that first let me know about that our boy Stupid Airsoft. More stuff coming from him in collaboration with us. You'll be happy to hear that. You'll be happy to hear it. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right. So one of the special guests. I feel like I should be next. Probably could. I remember I used to do it every single Tuesday, but I feel like I don't know. Would you guys prefer that on Tuesdays? I feel like sometimes the viewer count was a lot lower when I constantly had every single Tuesday. So I want to try to shake it up, but I'm not opposed to having you on there, Warzone. I'm totally cool with it. All right, but I think we should be good to bring on the guest. So my guest tonight is one of y'all's. He is one of you guys, right? He's one of you guys. He has been a member of the Mayo Gang for quite a while. He has been in the Discord especially. He has also made several appearances on, Council of Dudes. He's talked to a lot of other members in the community as well. He's offered a lot of his personal tech services as well. He has been a very good homie as well. He's always supporting. He's always watching the stream, which honestly, that's the biggest thing. More than anything else, the fact that he watches the stream and actually shows up on the chat means a lot to me, specifically. To me, right? I love that, right? I have rice on my shirt. What the fuck? Man, I'm a mess eater. All right. Yes, so my guest for today is our very own Primo Technician. Our very own Prime Tech Customs. He is going to be on for today's stream. And again, the topic for tonight, of course, being making the switch from AEG to GBR. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a Discord call right now. Hopefully Discord don't, crap out on me. That'd be nice. Let me see here. How do I call people? Oh, there we go. Start voice call. So chat, let me know if you can hear him. I'm going to be adjusting the volume as needed, so. Start the voice call. Okay, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. Hello? Can you hear me? All right, cool. Yeah, okay. He can hear me. Now let's see, make sure that everyone else can hear him as well. Can you give me a mic check 1, 2, 3, please?
All right, mic check 1, 2, 3.
You guys
mic check
hear him?
1, 2, 3.
You guys can hear him? Sounds okay? Let me know if you can hear him, guys. Okay, I'm just waiting to see what people are saying. Okay, live chat, which should be good. That sounds good on my end. Doesn't look like it's peaking too hard. No audio. Okay, let me try. All right. Keep going. Try go for it.
All right, mic check 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like it should be good. Yeah. Can you hear him clear? All right, sweet. All right, yes. So, I'm gonna roll out the red carpet for you, my man Prime Tech. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on today's live stream. I know you're a busy man as well. I know you got other projects working on in the background. I know you just got your AEG mags as well from LT, and you're gonna be doing more testing on those in a little bit. So I do appreciate you coming onto the stream as well, and thanks for being here.
Oh, well, appreciate the opportunity to be here. So, kind of a surprise, but yeah, thanks.
Hey man, look, here's the thing. You've been watching the stream for a very long time, and also you've literally gone into the Discord. You and Cutter have done a really good job of helping people out and giving obviously your 2 cents. You do a really good job too of not being the know-it-all text where you're oh, don't go with this fucking thing because it's crap. You do a really good job of trying to persuade people to go one way, but also saying hey, that's just my personal experience. I'd recommend this. I like this, but you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, I've been in that position too, where you can't get the top tier gear and like all the little knickknacks.
Mhm.
So I mean, even before I started teching, try to cut corners a bit, like try to get what you can.
No, I get that. I
So
get that.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to also like overstimulate people into like getting like I don't know like 10 parts.
No, yeah,
And
I
like
get that.
it
Yeah,
ends up
it's
being like a triple digit.
dude, like that happens even now. Like sometimes, and I'm not the best at it either. I try to let everyone know, like especially in storefront as a salesman, I'll try to give people opportunities to like look into different platforms and to do more research on stuff. Like they'll come in super confident, and then I'm like, not bragging, but I definitely give them more to consider, and they're like, oh shit, I'm a little overwhelmed now. I'm like, ah crap. But no, it's good. I think you do a really good job at like informing people without being like super biased, without being like a super douche about it. But actually, that begs a question. So, just so everyone in the chat knows who you are, how. Well, I guess that is a question, right? So, who are you? How long you been playing Airsoft? And what, or I guess, when did you start really getting into like the teching side of things?
So I mean, first off, I'm Prime Tech Customs, but I mean, normally I go by JJ. Anybody that personally reaches out to me. In terms of like the whole teching thing, I've always been into it. I would say like a good, well over a decade for sure. So I've always been intrigued in the mechanics of things. And I mean, Airsoft was like, it just scratched that itch, Playing, personally, I mean, it was a bit difficult, especially where I live, because I mean, you don't have a dedicated field.
Mm-hmm.
It was always like someone's like farm that kind of like opened up to like some of these young boys or whatever, or
but I can imagine
sometimes
those
you would
games
have to
were,
do like.
I can always imagine those games were like really sick though, considering it was like your own rules though, right?
Yeah, I mean, we try to go for like the typical like TDM, like or try to go off a little bit of like Call of Duty or whatnot. But I mean, South Texas, that's where I'm from. I mean, typically the landscaping or like the fields that we play at, it's what we call monte. Mm-hmm. So it's like basically just dirt, shrubbery and all that. Occasionally you get the thorny shrubs, so those are fun.
Take a fall in it and you just stab yourself repeatedly over and over and over again. All right, but so South Tech, what's funny? I've always kind of considered like Texas to be, for me, at least in terms of what I've seen, like social media wise, it's always been obviously SoCal, California, right? That being like the hotspot. But I've also seen like there are, at least from what I remember, there have been a few fields out in Texas that were really, really hot as well. Like in not just temperature, but like actually really good fields. And then Florida as well, that being like on the other side as well. But I would have figured Texas would have like way more airsoft fields as well, considering the topography, the geography that you guys have. Right, and of course, it being like culturally what Texas is, I would imagine you guys would have like way more fields.
Right. I mean, personally, I had thought that too. Mm-hmm. I at least thought like maybe like every city has like one or two fields that you can like go to, but I mean, geez, it's pretty well spread out, and I mean, with the size of like Texas, right? Being like one of the biggest states, normally you would imagine there's a ton of fields, but most of that stretch of land is just really like highways and stuff. So it can literally take you a whole day and you're still in Texas.
That's freaking nuts, me. That's insane. Like at least with us, it's like all right, you take like a couple 5 hours, and it's like okay, things are really different just geographically and everything, right? Like even like weather, temperament, everything's different. But Texas, like you can be in the it feels like you're in the same spot. I've had Cisco describe that to me as well. All right, so you've been playing for like quite a while. Obviously, you've been into the teching side for quite a while as well. What was, if you can remember, what was the very first tech project that you ever worked on? Like it could be yours, it could be somebody else's, and I mean like not just like an inner barrel and bucking, but like an actual true project.
So, in terms of like what I've at least like scratched the surface, of, I'm pretty sure like those of you that, some of us OGs, right, the old ones could remember, when Walmart used to have like airsoft plinkers, airsoft plinkers. I have to make sure I say the wording right. What was it called? Clearsoft.
Yep, Clearsoft.
Yeah, your kitted, M4 that you could like see the internals and everything. Like for me, that was like, oh my gosh, I could see how this thing works in action. Even though it was like one of the cheapest AEGs out there.
Yeah.
But the one I had was the DPMS Panther Arms. I think it was called the A15 or something like that. And it was like it looked like an M4, but it had like the full stock of an M16, and it took this chunky 8.4 volt, nickel metal hydride battery, like those big chunkers, where you had to like wait hours and you never got an indication of when it was finished charging. And I remember I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see how like this thing like works. So like I started taking it apart, but being that it's one of those LP AEGs, those aren't. It's not the type of things that you saw on early YouTube years. With like, I used to watch a lot of Airsoft GI. So I saw freaking oh my gosh, Tim
doing the
and
KWAs.
Bob the Axeman, like seeing the low tech videos and stuff. So, and there wasn't a lot of early YouTube. It was whatever you search up, like that was it. You would get like maybe like 5-10 results if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But like there was like almost nothing about that Panther Orange. So I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this out. And I had to like borrow my dad's tools, and, find out that it's the grip's not really removable. It's like all in one piece. Everything's like kind of like two-sided. So then I ended up just giving up on that. And then for a good time, I was like kind of like on a bit of a break. Typically, you think it's a phase, but then it's still in the back of your mind.
It's not a phase, Mom.
So then eventually, yeah, exactly. So then eventually, I got one of the competitors, low starter AEGs. Mm-hmm. sorry, GI, but
You're fine, dude. I don't care.
Yeah. So I tried to make sure that it was at least something that I could like tinker with. Mm-hmm. And of all things, it had to be like one of the I'm just gonna say the name brand. It's freaking Matrix.
Dude, we all at some point or another. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
we all
Matrix,
went there.
SST and all that. You like later in my years, I find out how really there's not much of a difference in any of the branding. Like they're all really just coming out of the same factory.
Yeah.
They just slapped their logo, or they changed the grip a bit or something. But yeah, and I ended up with a Matrix because it everything was kind of it was getting all the checks on my list.
Yeah, it was a standard V2. There wasn't anything crazy going on.
Yeah. Until I took the gearbox apart, and then that's where the word proprietary really came into play, and I'm like, I can't do anything with this thing. I was like, bucking, inner barrel. I mean, I can do that, but like I can't really do anything to like the core of the thing. I gotta stick to what they have, or find something similar. So then afterwards, I got rid of that thing, and then I got myself a Cyma SR16 because I've always had a bit of a love for low. We still got that nice kind of look.
Oh,
kind of like how everybody likes a Mark 18, right?
I think Stream just kind of like died for a second. Hold on, yeah. I think Stream died for a second. Can you repeat all after what I said after like old school CAC being like Supreme? Yeah, Stream just kind of lagged for a second there.
Yeah, I see the stream on my end. So to, I guess, shorten what I was saying is, CAC, they've always got that nice, sleek kind of look. It's I wouldn't say it's your Honda Civic or anything, but it's your Ford Mustang, you know.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's got that nice bit of classic, but it it's a sports car.
No, I get it. Like at the end of the day, too, like the SR16 builds, like those were always like super freaking sick. And I've been wanting to go ahead and do one as well. SR16 were always like that was peak for me. Okay, so you've been definitely doing the teching. You've had your tech projects from there. Obviously, you started at some point or another. You did start like obviously working on other people's guns. How long into your airsoft career, or rather, how long ago did you start actually working on guns or projects for other people?
I would say that was. I mean, it's not a lot. It's not. It's like maybe like 6 years or so.
That's still a good while ago.
I guess it's still a good while, but like the way I kind of describe myself, without trying to be too boastful or anything, right?
Sure.
Like, I'm not the type to really want to take like a huge amount of like what do you call it, influx of like clients or anything. So in a way I kind of go with the Ferrari kind of way of doing things. It's like, okay, it kind of made to order, so I'll make sure to take my time, do my builds and all that. Every now and then you get someone that like reaches out to you that wants something done or something simple, like I don't know, they just want I want this thing to reach X amount of FPS but also be accurate in X and X,
What is the most request? Oh, we're gonna keep going.
No, yeah. So like I kind of what do you call it, I guess categorize in like what I take for like clients. If it's something as simple as that, then I try to guide them through it, or like kind of like refer to them to like certain videos, because I mean now with the way YouTube is, I mean it is a database of plentiful of like information, and even like different types, or like the saying, like there's different ways to skin a cat. I mean you can basically take that concept with like airsoft. There's different ways of teching. I would say there's some right ways, and there's some I guess you can call it forbidden ways that you shouldn't.
Forbidden ways is crazy.
Yeah, and then there's some that kind of like stick to the main guidelines. It's I would say right now it's hard to really find good independent airsoft technicians, or airsmiths as I like to kind of like shorten it. But I mean, there's no lack of information out there already. So
true.
I think anybody can work on their stuff, but it really takes someone that's committed and dedicated to do the fine tuning and to make sure that when it leaves the bench, it's not going to come back to you within a month or two. Like that to me was. And I guess this also leads to part of your question, like what was the most, I guess, like extensive client, you could say, like and yeah, like I think those are the most kind of like I wouldn't say heartbreaking, but it's kind of like it hits you close, because it's like, dude, I put in so much time. There was this one client, I would say it was pretty high triple digit that was requested, and I made sure to do all the fine tuning to make sure that this thing reached the velocity that they wanted, be accurate and precise, because accuracy is not the same as precision.
Nope.
And within I think about a month or so, like he started having issues, and then I started I was like, oh, dude, what did I do wrong? So then you start kind of like going with the being experienced in like retail, right? Typically you try to like appease the client, right? Like, oh, let me make it right for you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then you find out it's not really your fault. it's the parts that fail sometimes. So this is why like I'm nitpicky in like what I pick out or what I recommend to some
As
people.
you should. As if anyone doesn't know, and I think we've even talked about this before on one of Squirrely's talks, or maybe even during a Discord call like last year. But I remember specifically you and I agreed that there is, just because you order the same parts that some other guy has, if he has the build list of what he did, if you buy the exact same brand, same model of parts, that doesn't necessarily mean you are getting the same parts. There is going to be a difference in batch quality from one batch to another, especially if like years have passed between, from this guy's build to your current build. Things can definitely change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one brand I could say for certain, there's certain times where like they have a duds, like just a batch of like duds, or it's an ongoing bit of like a 50-50 of a failure rate, kind of thing. Is
50-50 is crazy.
With like gate, yeah, it is crazy, but it does happen, and they overlook it to the point until it starts getting traction, like on socials and everything. Then okay, they start, fixing problems. I can name at least like 2 or 3 companies that this has happened in the past, and even to some point like recently too. I mean, I'm not gonna put them out there. I'm not gonna try to,
sure. Respect.
Yeah, I don't want to throw anything to the flame. But I mean, there has been a good amount. There has even been some companies, international, that are not really familiar with, airsoft, that it's sometimes it's like you try to give them good feedback, and it's like you're talking to a wall, because they are adamant that their products and whatever they put out, it's 100% working. There's nothing wrong with it. We make sure to test this stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, like, you guys don't even. Well, I'll say this. One thing is, one company that I tried to work with, it's like, dude, you guys don't even have airsoft at your country. So how can you really guarantee it works? You
Right.
barely want to have any testers, overseas.
I think I have a feeling as to what brands you might be talking about, so I too will not say their names. but I can attest to this. He's not wrong, guys. And for anyone that doesn't know, yes, I obviously work retail too. When I was doing more like storefront stuff, and even now I'll still do it, right? Obviously more on the admin side. There are some times where we've gotten parts in that, the minute with someone lets us know, hey, there's an issue with a part. Like if we sell parts to somebody and they let us know, hey, there's an issue with this, we immediately flag it, and we're like, okay, let's hold off right now on shipping out any orders. Let's double check something. Obviously, it can depend on the situation, right? Where it's like, oh, these gears are defective, and it's like, all right, let's see what he did, and then it turns out he just like, nah, he stripped it because he didn't know how to shim it, right? Or something happened, right? That's obviously that's case and closed. But then there are other times where years ago, this was like, and I've seen pictures from our old customer service days where certain gear sets, when they came in, they were like either missing like a tooth, but not in the good way. They weren't like, you know what I mean? They weren't like short stroked or nothing. It was like they were chipped away, like something ground it out, and we had no idea what it was. So we had to completely stop and return an entire shipment back. There have been times where we literally just had to say, hey, we cannot sell this on the website. Like we'd get it in, and like it'd be on the site for a day, and it immediately would be taken down because we're like, oh hell no, like these are bad. We do not want anyone buying this. So we've had to literally just send it on back so we can get our money back for it. But yeah, bad quality parts, bad QC can definitely ruin like this perfect formula. So there's never any perfect formula for like, here's a build, here's what I did to get this, specs. It always has to change, which why you honestly, it is a good thing that you are like, I don't want to say anal about it, but for lack of a better term, you are like nitpicky with parts. I think every good tech should be, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between, okay, I can make this work, and like, hey, this, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the exact performance you're asking for. And like you said, it's not going to come back within like less than a month's worth of time or of playing. But yeah, so now obviously you have your experience with AEGs. Now in regards to tonight's topic, right? How familiar, how much of the gas blowback rabbit hole have you gone down? Because it is a rabbit hole for sure.
I am going to quote Crazy J on this, that it is not a rabbit hole. This thing is a sinkhole.
Okay. That's pretty good.
If let me try to go into detail. Just at least for me, or those, or you know, at least those that are kind of like related to me in the sense of like, you know, you like the whole mechanics and all that. You get into the technicals. You start diving in. I would say it's a sand pit. It's a bit of a sand pit, because you find parts that work for, like, you know, certain brands, or you start liking a design for a part, and then you try to understand, okay, well, why is this getting so much traction? And then you start noticing, it's like, okay, well, if I get this, well, then you start getting this, and it's like, oh, if you know, if you don't balance these two parts out, well, you're gonna start getting, like, you know, bolt balance and all that, you know. And I know I'm speaking almost cryptic in the sense, but
no, I'm following.
At least we're like gas blowback. I don't know. It's how do I describe this? It's for AEGs. It's like the whole, like, the fine tuning still exists, but like for AEGs, to me, it starts to be like you get a formula. And normally it's, you know, you kind of stick to the general formula, and then you change every now and then, you know, the, you know, variables and all that. For like gas blowback, it's not just about kind of coming up with a formula, but you start to kind of, you get a feel for, you know, your plinker, you know, because, you know, gas blowback adds that little extra bit of, you know, immersion, you know, getting closer to the real thing, kind of. And your mindset has to change. You're not carrying mags that are like, you know, 200 plus BBs in there. It's like you're literally only sticking to like maybe 20 to 35, you know, depending on what platform you get, right? Or once they play, you know, depending on what kind of plinker you get. So at least for, I kind of just like took a dive in with, like, you know, competitors. For one, I know how much Boss Man doesn't like me mentioning it, but I like Noveski. I have a respect for John Noveski. Okay, so like that's why I was kind of like, you know, I had to get that, you know, I had to get the bazooka green in my life, kind of thing.
No, I get it. I completely understand.
Yeah, and then, yeah, so then you hold this thing in your hand, and it does feel different from an AEG. Like, it, apart from the weight, it's just it's the what do you call it? Oh my gosh, the words escape me, but it's just more of
cathartic?
Oh my gosh.
Satisfying.
Yes. It's got satisfying for sure. I said this in you know, Squirrely's previous Council of Airsoft Dudes.
When you're comparing it to a manual,
it's that bolt lock.
Automatic.
It's that bolt lock. The actual, you know, locks back, and you actually, you know. Yeah, you know, you flip that catch, and then it goes forward, and it's like, oh, okay. All right, this thing actually goes into battery.
Yeah, where's the battery go on this thing?
There's no battery. It goes into battery.
It's like, whoa, that's crazy.
It's like, and I don't got to plug anything in. Yeah. Especially for, like, you know, with me, I have the Ghetto Blaster, so it's got that PDW stock.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, dude, I don't have to deal with getting, like, you know, one of those 900 milliamp lipos.
Motherfucker, I
know I had to do that.
I hate those 600 milliamp batteries, dude. That's so annoying.
Yeah, and I mean, you would think that most of the companies that come out with these PDWs, kind of have a more dedicated battery to them, but nope.
Dude, I remember. I don't know if you like remember this, like 2017. I remember that specific 2017, 2016. That was like the peak of when everyone and their moms wanted a PDW stock. Even if it was a full length rifle, everyone and their moms wanted a freaking PDW on there. And I remember too helping customers out in the storefront. I was like, "Are you sure you want this?" They're like, "Yeah, I want it." Like, all right. And once they got the PDW stock, they're like, "All right, how do I plug the battery in?" I'm like, that's the thing. You don't, you can't.
You're gonna need this adapter right here.
You're gonna need. That's right. I remember AirTech Studios used to make battery compartment adapters for like the ARP9s and shit, dude. That was bad when another company has to make an adapter, a battery extender, so you can use regular sized batteries, not even comfortably, just better than before. That was
because everyone wanted to use the nunchuck lipo.
Yeah.
Because it works in their crane stock, so it should work with the PDWs, right?
No,
but no,
no. Oh my god!
I know. I learned that lesson when I, won the KWA TK45.
Yeah.
And I got it in hand. I'm like, oh man, this feels nice. I was like, now I realize how. Gucci freaking KWA has been all these years. But then as soon as I wanted to connect the stock, I'm like, oh, it's that.
It's one of these.
I'm like, I forgot I got the recoil one.
Oh, that's so
good. The
good.
good thing is it's the EPS stock, so it's got a bit of room. I just need to get the battery to fit in that room.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Warzone was actually asking, and by the way, guys, if you do have any airsoft-related questions, or questions specifically you want me to ask or answer with Prime Tech, you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and ask me. And by the way, Prime Tech, I don't know if you saw my message on IG. Full disclosure, we mess each other on IG all the time. I blow his IG up with constant memes all the time. I'm addicted to that shit. But if you do need to go at any point, just let me know. There's no hard feelings. I understand you're on a busy schedule. But I did have a question for you specifically from Warzone. He's asking, when it's not worth fixing, right, any project, do you toss away, like throw it away, or add to a massive graveyard?
For me, definition of not worth fixing is kind of like it's an all stop. Yeah, it's an all stop in the case. I'm trying to recall in what case I was
Like maybe something it's too proprietary. And I mean, like it's too proprietary. They're the parts for it. If there are any replacements, maybe are out of stock. Nobody has them right now. It's been a hot minute since you got it. Maybe one of those.
Right, like a version 1 Famos.
Don't say that. I have one.
I only know less than a handful of people that can actually modernize a V1 gearbox.
I know one guy.
And it's so extensive. Or if anyone can remember when PTS had the PDR.
Yes.
I know that. Yeah, when it's like a plinker that has like a dedicated gearbox for it, it's not that it's not worth fixing, but it's it just gets more difficult to kind of keep maintaining it,
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I always picture in my mind is that one company I tried to give good feedback on and they never did anything about it. But whether or not anybody knows this, so there was a part a few years ago that was trying to revolutionize the AEG in another way, not so much in the brushless, but in a mechanical system, the tappet system. I'm just gonna full blown say it was a tapless cylinder head.
Sure.
And you hear about this kind of like space magic, right? Oh man, imagine like not having to, worry about the tap bit, or making sure the nozzle doesn't slip over the plate and all that. And this thing sounded like it was gonna be a game changer, for at least for the technicians.
Sure, yeah.
And it ended up being that it was a bit of a DOA, because unfortunately, instead of what their marketing said was going to increase your velocity, it ends up doing the opposite, and requires even more power to even actuate the function of the freaking tapetless cylinder head, and along with a few others in a group that I'm kind of in, we tried to like kind of give a little feedback and tried to make sure this company knew that y'all need to improve this. And like I said before, it's like talking to a wall.
Just not listening, not receptive.
No, and then they would do little changes, but those little changes end up like kind of going nowhere. So unfortunately, with at least the group that I was in, we kind of just like blacklisted this part. We're like, nah, don't even bother. If anybody reaches out to you, kind of like asking, is this any good or anything, you just tell them flat out, nope, don't even bother. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. Like, no.
Right, it is unfortunate when companies don't really listen. It kind of makes you wonder, though, right? Where it's like, obviously, if it having all those problems, you got to wonder, what was the QC like, if there was any? Like, they must have known, right? Like, there's got to be, there's no way that they didn't know that something like this would happen, because even with us, right? Like, with the CAMWSs, for example, right? Like, dead ass. Like, I know some people look and say, oh, bullshit, like, everyone company says that it's marketing. No, dead ass. Like, I myself would have to go in there with with some of the other employees to do the QC of those guns, every single one, before we ship them out, for our orders, because we're just trying to make sure, okay, is this actually feeding? Is the hop up like doing what the hop up is supposed to do, right? We're trying to make sure that everything is like copacetic before we send it out. You would think that if you want returning customers, you would test the products first before you ship them out. At least do a decent batch QC every once in a while. There's got to be, they must have known, don't you think?
Yeah, and I mean, this is where I kind of, I will be kind of giving a bit of like gratitude and appreciation to like a brand like or a company like Arcturus that actually gives you a little QC slip. This is what it hit like here from factory before shipping it over and all that. And there's some shops that do this that kind of QC check, like how well or what what's the average velocity, what BBs they used. I mean, even some go to a higher degree of like checking the weather, and they even put there at 84 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I'm like, okay, I don't care. But I mean, that's cool.
I mean, it's cool.
It's a nice yeah, I mean, it's like good to know if I ever do average out playing in 84-degree weather, then I mean, awesome.
You know what's crazy to me? And this is one thing I'm gonna not throwing shade, but it's just more like, or just kind of like a question, like, why wouldn't they do this for that too? Dead ass. If anyone orders a Lancer Tactical, Heracles, Nightshade, I believe even the LTXs now, and even the Cthulhu's now, we actually have someone doing the same thing, because we saw that Arcturus was doing that, and Deadass Lancer started doing that as well. They will literally put down like the chrono sheet that they have, and they'll put down like .20 BBs. There's a little card in there. If you ever get like an LT GBB pistol, it has it somewhere. There's a little tiny paper in there, and it will show like the card. But I wondered, you're doing that for the GBBs, and I know they do the QCs for the AEGs for sure, right? I mean, they offer the 1-year warranty for a reason. It's like, why not just do that for both? You know what I mean? I don't know. It would be nice. It'd be kind of cool if we could do that. Like, I think that I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I think Arcturus really, really did a good job with that. Obviously, to the nth degree with telling what the ambient temperature was and everything. I don't think we need to go that far, but it is nice to know. But also going back to this topic as well, because I was also listening in, right? I know that everyone has their opinions, and obviously right now the big thing online is going to be MWS versus VFC, right? That's like the big fight. It's the cult of the VFC, as I like to call them, versus like the TMMWS system. Between the two,
Right.
I know you're not like, I don't want to say the GBR expert, right? Because obviously you said yourself, you're still learning and you're still experimenting around. What system do you really like in terms of what system do you have a preference for currently? It sounds like MWS if I have you figured out.
I mean, yes, and I mean, don't take my words as like gospel or anything.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'm just like really liking the MWS. Just the uh, it's got so much aftermarket support. I mean, and even then, like people are still kind of experimenting and trying to push the boundaries of like what the platform can do.
Yeah.
And like one does understand that it's I mean, I do like how VFCs look.
Oh, of course,
They
dude. VFCs
look
are
amazing, and it's the closest to the real thing, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's always been the kind of the argument. But okay, like, how much of the real thing does that really matter in our little, military cosplay sport?
Right. I mean, I get it. Like, I have several fans or several friends and homies that, unfortunately weren't indoctrinated into the cult of VFC, unfortunately. So they're dude, like, I'm telling you, like, shout out to my boy Nick. Wow, I love you, dude. But this man would, like, DM me and be like, hey, you guys should carry more VFC stuff, like, on a regular basis, dude, like, almost every week. Or anytime we see each other, like, he'd come down from Ohio, and we'd say, and, we'd hang out, we'd chill and kick back, and then he'd be like, hey, you guys should carry more VFCs. I'm like, oh my god, we weren't even talking about Airsoft, and he'll just bring it up. Like, it's insane how much these guys love that system and will do anything, literally anything, to get their hands on more. And don't get me wrong, like, we've tried to, bring in more, and we're still gonna bring in more stuff, a la, the VSC AKs, which are coming in soon, guys. Which are coming in soon. Again, they're scheduled towards the end, like literal tail end of this month. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But I really like the VSC stuff too. But again, I just think that the MW system, because it's so supported, it's kind of nice and kind of cool. I myself am not a tech, right? But I do try to contribute to that world, obviously, because of what I do, the position that I'm in right now. Obviously, also trying to take the votes and encourage companies to, or at least the companies we work with, to bring more in. It's kind of cool to be on that forefront, right? Like you said it best, right? Everyone's kind of pushing the boundaries of what you could possibly do with the GBR. It almost kind of feels like, in a weird way, it almost kind of feels like we're harkening back to the glory days of airsoft, when it was first more or less kind of new or becoming more mainstream in the US, right? Especially with techs, when they were trying to really push the boundaries of what these guns could really do. And it's kind of cool to see and feel like we're kind of on that new forefront. It's new frontier.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of goes back a little bit to like the AEG, where I've always said this in like the chats or even in the the Discord server, that at this point AEGs have already peaked, and it's getting to a point where it's just stagnating in what can be pushed on that. And even in the the group of like technicians that I know, they're like, dude, the next step really for like AEGs is to do a whole new system. It's rebuild the entire thing, redo it. And I mean, I know that's what they're trying to do with the eVolt.
The eVolt, yeah.
But I mean, I think it's a little bit extensive. It's not really overstimulated, but it's a little extensive to what they're trying to change for like the AEGs. And I mean, it doesn't help either with unfortunately, those of us that live in the in the States, whole tariff situation. It doesn't help that if you try to import that thing, yeah, it's a hefty penny.
It's a
really
risk.
hefty
It's a
penny.
risk.
Yeah, it's a risk. And I mean, I will say also, the cult of VFC, it is a hefty risk. to try to import a VFC right now. With the way our with the way our alphabetical agencies are working. Yeah. And I mean, it's not really the knock on like the VFC platform.
No.
Like I want to believe it's a great platform. Personally, I haven't really like been able to experience, playing with one platform, but just because. What?
I love that phrasing.
What?
I want to believe it's a good platform. I was like, yes, you're
Yeah,
number
I
two.
I want to believe. But I mean, I haven't had much experience to like, play with the platform, but trying to understand the system through, kind of like, the parasocialism of like YouTube and all that, and streams and whatnot. I mean, it's just a better WA system, and from what I hear, even then the hop-up needs some improvement, which I understand that's what they did with the version 3 system right now, but even then it's wonky. But then you hardly ever hear about that with the Z system, or I mean, dare I say the CGS, but CGS has their own problems. But I mean, that's what happens when you try to go your own spec.
Respectively, CGS has some stuff to work out. I'll be honest. I'll be frank. I'm gonna call that out.
I mean, that's what happens when you try to, go for your own spec instead of kind of following the blueprint that's already available to you.
What is it? RPG Lovers was saying something on here. He's like, all I'm saying, MWS, same system since it came out. VFC, I don't know what system they on now, Evo or something. So they're on 3, if I'm not mistaken right now. I believe that's the most current up to date.
Version 3 Evo, that's the Evo.
Yeah.
The version 3.
But I will say this, little known fact, most people don't realize that even, and this is, again, I'm definitely more team MWS than I am VFC. I like both, right? And I would definitely love to own both. I, technically speaking, do more or less own one. If you remember all the videos that I did with the FAL, the OSW, the 308, that basically is mine because I've fired so many rounds through that thing. I've like put that through the ringer, so it's basically mine at that point. So I have experience shooting both, but I will say that where the MWS
that activated your sleeper agent, your sleeper agent, FAL, battle rifle, like these were like. Boom.
Yeah, that immediately. Although I will say, the minute like TM comes out with their with an MWS FAL, oh dude, I'm making the switch. I'm jumping ship, bro. Like 100%. I'm not even ashamed of it. But when I do think of the MWS, most people don't realize that there actually is 3 different versions that came out. And most people don't realize they're not that huge of a difference in terms of like, all right, they're not going to work here. But that is actually one of the reasons why the aftermarket scene kind of does vary from brand to brand to brand. Because obviously, yes, you have the OG, and then companies were coming out with aftermarket parts for that. But over time, right, TM started making slight improvements here and there. This is something that Bossman and Boaz have actually reported to me, and I've looked online, and apparently it's true, that they've made small improvements, but nobody really knew about it because TM has been much on like the hush-hush about it. So there's sometimes you'll get a part that says, oh yeah, meant for TM MWS, but like which version? So sometimes you got to do the little bit of fitment. Thankfully, it's not as bad as VFC, obviously, but it's still something that everyone should realize that depending on which MWS you get, some fitment still is required for installation of certain parts. It's not all just basic drop-in for the most part.
Yeah, and I mean, that's where like kind of like my respect towards like the Japanese is. I mean, they play almost everything close to the chest when it has to be. When it's has to be kind of told publicly, they'll go ahead and do that. And they'll put out a PSA or something. Obviously, majority of the world doesn't speak Japanese, but I mean, it's not that hard enough for you to just point your camera and then Google Lens it and translate it. So I mean, you get some understanding of it. But I mean, they really dedicate themselves to the intricacies of machining and improving a product, and they'll take feedback even when it's not directly being told to them. and that's I mean that's what I enjoy about like kind of like that country and that aspect.
I get it.
Never been there, so I mean eventually maybe.
Hey, dude, I plan on going to Japan.
I have a lot of respect to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, but where was I going with this? Oh my gosh.
No, you're good.
I mean, look, I'll say this about like VFC. They kind of the only reason I would ever want to get a VFC is because they're the only ones that actually makes an SR16.
Yeah, they do a lot of the CAC stuff.
Which I don't care which plinker nut is out there. The KS1 is just a improved SR16. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
It's just a
you feel
better
better. You got
improved
that off your chest?
SR16 with a lot more ambient controls. That's all it is. All right. I like the OG. I don't care for the modern KS1.
Okay. You got that off your chest. You feel better?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we all know at the end of the day, if you guys have actually listened to Squirrely's Council of Dudes, we all know that Prime Tech at the end of the day, yeah, it's right, abandon the big two. We all know your favorite is the Well Pro GBB system, man. We all know that's your favorite.
Not gonna get into that. No.
Okay, my question is because if for anyone that doesn't know,
if you're talking about doing your own thing, that is the embodiment of that.
Hey man, I'm just gonna say this, right? Out of all the GBRs that came out in 2025 specifically, right? We're talking 2025. The one that I was not expecting to hit as hard as both metaphorically and very literally was the Well Pro AK-12 GBBR. That thing is awesome, dude. That yes, I understand what you're saying. That I have had other models that were a little, not as good as I had wanted them to be. But come on, man, that AK-12 was ballin'. Have you ever tried it?
No, but I mean, I hear praise about it, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that's probably the best GBR they've only ever put out. And I'm gonna say it, they beat Arcturus to the punch.
Yeah, dude.
Everyone was waiting. Everyone was waiting. All of a sudden, there hasn't been anything from Arcturus about that AK-12.
I mean,
ever since the Well Pro came out, I'm like, and I will say too, there's a bit of similarities with the Well Pro and Arcturus. I'm gonna say that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's the hop-ups are looking very much the same.
Dude, I was just like the whole time, like ever since like freaking MOA? Yeah, ever since like MOA a while back, right? And then of course SHOT Show. I was like expecting it because I would see it. It would like be. I remember MOA and seeing it in Taiwan. It was in a glass case, right? If you guys watched the video from way back, like 2 years ago, when Boaz and I went to Taiwan, we're filming all this crazy stuff. It was literally in like a glass fish tank, and we weren't allowed to touch it. Like I wanted to steal it right then and there to film with it, and they're like, no, can't have anybody touching this. We're like, fuck, man, we can't do anything with it. I see it again in SHOT, and we are able to like get our hands on it a little bit. But still, same thing. We can't really do too much with it. And then nothing. Silence for a long time. And then, out of nowhere, a couple months later, oh yeah, Well Pro has a gas like AK-12. What? I was skeptical. I was very skeptical. I did not think it was going to be, at the standard that Arcturus was really hyping themselves up to be with theirs. And then when I shoot it, I'm like, okay, this is pretty freaking sweet. This is pretty freaking cool. Hopefully... we can see more stuff from them. Hopefully they saw how well it did, because even Jaeger Precision was like, dude, this thing is awesome. Hopefully they learned their lesson and they're like, all right, this is the new standard. Everything that we put out from now on in terms of GBRs has to be just as good, if not better than this one. So hopefully one can pray, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least from what I've heard about the AK-12 specifically, the only thing that kind of made it almost incompatible with TMs, AKX, AKM, and all that was just the valve knocker. Like that was about it. Because it was slightly too short. Once you kind of like swap that out, or kind of like extend that, then I mean it fixes the whole compatibility issue. And I mean, it sounds like I'm trying to knock down, kick them while they're down, all that with WellPro. But I mean, they're one of the few companies that I've seen kind of like a turnaround in terms of like the price, the quality that you get for the price that they're kind of marketing. They're aside from the limited time that G&G had it, they're one of probably the only companies that I know that has released an AEG that's a DSG out of the box, and it works.
Yeah, those were solid, honestly. But when we found out what sort of specs we were working with, we literally had to do a double take. Our techs were like, "Yo, you realize this is a DSG?" We're like, "No way!" And we looked at it, we're like, "Oh shit!" And it was solid out the box too.
Yeah, like they got the timing right and everything. So I mean, I think whoever they got kind of like in the design engineering space, or their whole R&D in there, I think they know their stuff. It's just at least in the whoever was in charge of the gas flowbacks, apart AK-12 aside, there was too much inconsistencies with the amount of information they were kind of like putting out for marketing. Because there was, at first it was kind of like, oh, this is going to be fully compatible with VFC. Like that was kind of like the marketing.
Yeah.
For months. And then once kind of like the first few releases of their KS1 came out, that's when you were starting to see people realizing that, okay, this thing is not VFC. Like, the mags are completely different than what we were being shown.
Yeah.
And all that. And that's when you discover, okay, well, it's then their marketing kind of changed where it's MWS compatible. But then those that were experimenting with, their KS1s were realizing, well, it's not really, it's MWS mag compatible.
Yes, but nothing else.
MW, yeah, like once you start touching into the actual like plinker, like the little internals, the the bolt end, everything else, it was like nope. They did their own thing there. I'm not too sure if they were trying to maybe like rush this thing.
I don't know,
because I think it was only a couple weeks or so, or maybe even a week, when they kind of announced their KS1 that all of a sudden VFC, was like, oh, we're getting one out too, and we're introducing the V3 system and all that. So I don't know if they tried to beat VFC to the punch of releasing this thing, and they're just like, there's too much, we can't really get this one for one, so you know what, let's go with the next best thing that has a lot of support. And I mean, there's the MWS, and that's where we got what we got.
Yeah, no, I remember the promises that were, well, not really promises, but like I remember the hype specifically of being like, oh yeah, VFC compatible, it's gonna be. I remember that specifically because my VFC homies, Cult of VFC, reached out to me and was like saying, hey, they're gonna keep your eyes on this. You gotta keep your eyes on this. It's gonna be coming out. I remember when all this was happening. We had I think we even had we had a prototype, actually, the sample model that was sent up to us as well. And
yeah, the clear body one, right?
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that gun, like, it was cool at first, but like, we were like, what the fuck is it? I remember we had our tech look at it, and even he was like, okay, this is not 100% like a VFC though. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, again, and it's fine. I'm okay with companies, and guys, I'm not trying to encourage people to not buy stuff outside of the typical systems. MWS and VFC are just two systems, guys. There are other systems that do exist out there as well. Some of them are going to be, maybe coming from the same, ancestry, if you will. Some of them will have a lot of similarities, and there might be some cross-pollination between the different brands and everything, and that's fine. That's okay, as long as the company itself is transparent about what system it actually is using. And then what I always tell every single brand out there, anytime that a new platform is coming in or new system, make sure you release bare minimum spare magazines to coincide with it, and you have to release at least a couple of parts, at least the core components, your nozzles, right? That's like going to be the number one thing that you'll want to release with it, which is why honestly I do give credit to Vorsk for their VMP system. Obviously it took a little bit, but they did eventually put out all their different nozzles for their VG1S, basically all their VMP systems, which was really, really cool. They're on the site too. Everyone can check them out for themselves. And even G&G. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the G&G gas flowback ones? What is it, MGCRs?
Yeah, it wasn't. I would say that is a tragedy of itself, unfortunately.
Dude, I love. Here's the thing. When what was it, Christmas 2024?
Have you heard of the tragedy of the SGR?
Yeah. Have you ever heard the tragedy of the G&G MGCR? I thought not.
It's a gas blowback legend.
It's a gas blowback legend. The MGCR was so light. Its bolt was so lightweight. It could shoot so fast.
Gas efficient
Yeah.
that it almost was non-existent.
Dude, that gun, seriously, guys, that G&G MGCR, awesome platform. Seriously, like I thought when we first started getting like the samples in the production models, I was. Oh, by the way, before I continue, I'm not ignoring you, Copperhead. It was hard to find a time to like take away. I guess I'll just go in and take a break. Like I said earlier,
I was about to point that out.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to ignore. I just I didn't know when to stop because I was so deep in the conversation. Like I said earlier in the stream, those are scheduled to be at least arriving in the actual like warehouse for us, literally at the very tail end of this month. So like, what is it? July 31st. So like July 30th, 31st, like that, like 2 weeks from now, basically in that time frame is when we're expected to get that shipment in. Obviously, I don't have an exact date because it is an ETA, but that is when we are scheduled to get them in, and we haven't heard any issues or news of those being delayed at all. So just keep your eyes peeled towards the end of this month specifically. All right, but going back to the topic, the G&G MGCR guys.
I'm hoping and praying that the MGC4 Mark IV is also on that little ship.
Right. I think that one is going to be slightly after. Yeah, that one's going to be after. Because that one I believe is slated for the 15th of August, if I remember correctly. If I don't have my dates crossed, which I do have good news by the way on that front.
Don't tell me dates because I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna hold you.
You're gonna hold me accountable. You're gonna bully me.
Hold you to that. yeah. Take accountability, son.
But the G&G MGCRs, those guns, dude, like that gas. For anyone that hasn't fired one. When we first got ours in and we started shooting it and showing it off for social media and I started doing reviews on it, that bolt, like that cycle rate was just so fast. And I knew why. It wasn't the hardest kicking GBR on the market, but I didn't really care because I knew what G&G was going for. They're going for efficiency, they're going for speed, and it nailed it. It did the job perfectly. And I was expecting to see a whole continuous line of more G&G MGCRs, and honestly, maybe they could make a comeback. They can turn it around, and because they were smart, they were going to release it right around the holiday season. They made one fatal flaw, though. They made one fatal mistake. They did not release magazines for this brand new system because it is a proprietary system. Again, it's totally fine if you do a proprietary. That's okay. But they didn't release nozzles. They didn't release any OEM or replacement parts. They didn't release any magazines when it came out. Not until months, like almost I want to say like it was like 3 months later that we finally got magazines in for it. But everyone bought this gun and was like, well, what am I going to do with it? So now the system is more or less kind of killed off its own hype. And who knows, maybe in the future we could see more. But as of right now, there just really hasn't been too much. Let me know if anyone in the chat right now works with a G&G gas flowback rifle, because honestly, those are sick. Those are really, really, really cool. Have you ever had the chance of shooting one of those?
Nope.
Damn, bro. You honestly, I think you would like it just because of how fast it is.
Lack of bags.
Yeah, lack of bags. You don't know anybody that
owns
one?
There's a scarcity. No.
I know one guy personally that owns one, and like I think he waited like 4 months before he got his magazines in, and he had to get them directly from G&G too, like from like the distributor, like 101 Tech. Yeah, it was rough. He had to go the long way to get his magazines in. But yeah, no. All right, so I do have maybe a couple more questions before I go ahead and let you go. I know also you're busy, right? I'm assuming you got stuff to do after this.
From here, it's just rest before work, basically.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I want to make sure that I'm not keeping you up too
Yeah, yeah,
late.
no worries. No, you're good. You're good.
All right, so now that you've been, obviously, you're still kind of experimenting with it. You have the ADG magazines. Have you been able to do any of the testing thus far for the ADGs, for the ADG mags?
Mm, testing thus far, no. Aside from what I've shared in the Discord server,
Mm.
I mean, uh, going back to like with the whole DNG, I mean, Lancer Tactical at least learned that lesson, and they releasing the ADG mags before the actual replicas. So
True, true.
at least people, yeah. And I mean, uh, for right now, I'm just taking it at like kind of face value of what. I mean, it feels nice. It's a nice quality. It's a nice quality mag. Kind of put a magnet to it kind of before trying to tear this thing down, because if anything, I should probably do the gas efficiency before trying to tear this thing down.
Yeah, for warning too, for whatever reason, like, and this is again, I want to address like everything that's out there. Like, I think I remember putting it in the, Discord too at some point. If not, I'll say it here. When we did the testing for it, I know Squirrely was saying his was shooting pretty hot. Like, wow, that was shooting hot. I swear to God, when I tested it, it was shooting. I was using the Lancer Tactical 9 kg gas. I was using the 9 kg gas specifically when chronoing it, and I was getting tops like max like 408. Like 408 was like the peak of what I was getting. It was right at the 390. It was like 397 to about like 408. That was the sort of like deviation like that I was usually getting. Obviously, as the magazine got colder on the second roundabout, it did get a little bit lower, but that was to be expected. In terms of just average, yeah, you were looking at like maybe at most maybe 408. So when he said it was like shooting 430, I was like, oh. I was really, really concerned at first, but so far he seems to be like enjoying it. It is like functionally working, so it might just be the choice of gas. So when you do your testing, that is something that I want to disclose what exactly I was using. In terms of what it seems to like, it really seems to like the 12 kg the best in terms of just, I don't know, like in terms of cycle rate. Obviously, right? It's higher psi, but it just seemed to work and feel really nice with the 12 kg. But in terms of me testing it specifically for chronoing, and it was working with a 9 kg. So just so you are aware too.
Oh, okay. I don't exactly have like kind of kg numbers on this. I just kind of vary between 120 psi to at max, and I'm talking like this should only be used in cold weather. It's the 150 psi. And it kind of rarely gets cold here. My region would be considered the Midwest. So in the Midwest region, unless you're kind of more north, and especially here in Texas, once you go kind of like the bottom half of Texas, you start experiencing like kind of the colder climates. Sure. Maybe 60 below. Very rarely do you ever get anything below 50. So that 150 psi can for now I only got one. And possibly another one that's at halfway. Yeah, it's a bit of a rarity, but and also kind of like adding on to that, and I mean shout out to Squirrely Nuts for putting out content at least for that classic Army NWS. You have to also consider, at least with gas blowbacks, from my understanding, when I've been reading and understanding and kind of experiencing myself, is that depending on what region you're in and your location, it actually really does affect on the platform itself, because it could have been shooting there like with you guys, it could have been like hitting at that 408, but kind of going more on the Midwest. It was, and transportation wise, and just me knowing the aspects of like these kind of transportation vehicles and how they kind of like, it could be 74 outside, but within those trailers of transportation on all your carriers out there, those are hot boxes. Well, the other kind of hot box. More like a sauna, I would say.
Well, it could be both. Sometimes for some of those drivers, man, it could be both.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I'm not gonna say this, but yeah. Yeah, it could be like 74, but like in those trailers, their temperatures could like get up to like 95 degrees.
I used to do. I would work commercials with Boaz and some of the grip trucks where they'd keep all like the supplies and the tools needed for like a lot of these film shoots, because we did a lot of commercials and K-pop music videos. Like, it was always a lot of K-pop music videos. But whenever we would work in that truck, because it was one of those same like converted like shipping containers, shipping trucks that was changed obviously into like the grip truck for supplies. That the top of those things, dude, like it could be, yeah, like you said, like 75 degrees, not too bad. It's a little warm outside, but it's nothing unbearable. The minute you step into that and you touch like the roof, the ceiling of that trailer, dude, like you can seriously burn your hands like pretty badly. There've been a few dudes that have actually gotten like pretty severely burned because they just left their hand. It got stuck there behind like some bags of supplies, and it ended up cooking literally their hand. So it gets really hot in there too. I will agree to that as well. Oh, but this one's a question for you actually, and I know you kind of answered this already on the Council of Dudes, but he's asking, it's all legit. Are those Vorse mags? Right. I think he's talking about the MWS ones. Are those Vorse mags still 100 pounds, and have they fixed the issue?
I mean, the ones that y'all have should be the most current one.
Yes.
Like I said in that podcast, I got a pre-production model that, at least from what I know, wasn't supposed to be sold. Yeah. So I'm hoping they kind of did use a different kind of alloy that's not as heavy. It's still one of the heaviest mags I have right now.
It is heavy still. Even the ones that we had, even the shorty mag was heavy.
I have the shorty mag, and it's heavier than the regular Stanag.
Yeah.
It's even heavier than the Guns Modified P mag. So.
Yeah, those Evo mags too.
Yeah, those Evo mags. I mean, they're not lightweight either, even though they're supposed to be polymer. It's a gas blowback mag. What do you expect?
When we tested it, I will say this: it didn't seem to have any compatibility issues when we were testing. Because full disclosure, I was like, all right, I remember listening to you guys talking about SBU, especially with the Vorse. So I was straight up super curious, right? So that Friday, I was talking to Bossman about it and Cisco, and so we're like, all right, let's go, test this out. We want to make sure, right? In case it had like that many issues, we're like, well, fuck, we don't want to sell this, right? So we ended up testing it out.
Right.
We plugged it into. I plugged it. Say it's like it's a battery. We inserted it. Hey yo, wait, hold on. There's no way. Hold on, wait.
It's already out of context. Just keep going.
Fuck it, whatever. All right, we shoved that thing inside, and.
Okay, now you're going all in, but I mean.
Hey, we just shoved it in there, into both. We had a CGS that, courtesy of Mr. RPG Lovers, who brought one in. We tested it on one of the I think this is more like one of the other brands, Daniel Defense GBRs, and we also plugged it into the CA, the Classic Army as well. Now, in terms of just functioning, there was no misfunctions whatsoever on any of them. Thank God. Thankfully, there was no issues in terms of okay, will this feed, will this function, will this properly cycle? So I'm happy to report that yes. Now, in terms of efficiency, it really does depend on what you're putting it in. Surprisingly, when you put it into the other brands, platform, theirs, it actually seemed to work fine. It actually seemed to perform the best in terms of efficiency. On the CA, it wasn't the most efficient. I was still able to get a mag's worth of shots, and I was still able to get bolt lock. That wasn't an issue. But I was definitely like, okay, I really should fill this up before I try using this magazine again. Unlike obviously unlike the AEG magazines or any of the TM mags, I feel like I could get maybe a couple more rounds, with the same magazine before having to refill. with the Vorsk, I definitely felt like I needed to refill. So that is the one downside I will say. It's not. I think it's the least efficient magazine that we MWS mag that we currently offer right now. But it is an option and it still works. And I'm sure once the Vorsk one gets here, it'll probably work just fine, like as it's intended. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean that was like my concerns with the Vorsks.
Yep.
Which I didn't mention this in the podcast, and I'm not directly blaming the mag.
That's fine.
But my nozzle did break
Yeah.
after maybe like another 2 or so rounds. And like when I was like kind of doing like a bit of like measurements and all that, I noticed that while the feed lips are at a adequate height for at least my ghetto blaster, the gasket was sitting just slightly, just I would say maybe like 1.5 millimeters just above, which to my assumption was basically pushing my nozzle kind of toward the hop up. And that's how my nozzle kind of just bit.
I looked at it when I first got them in too, and I was like, those gaskets, them gaskets are like pretty chunky compared to the other ones. I thought I was tripping, but then when we looked at it too, because we were like comparing the size, like okay, maybe there's issue there, and yeah, no, you're right, it is slightly, and I mean, if to the untrained eye, you might not even notice, you might not even care, guys, but like, I mean, this again, we're doing this because we're trying to be as transparent as possible with you guys. Well, he's right, it really is like just ever so slightly bigger than like the stereotypical like MWS magazine gaskets that you'd find both on the stock TM ones, the classic army ones. I believe even the CGS mag, their gaskets are not that big either. They're definitely smaller. So that is something that we can report as well, that we found as well. But again, in terms of just functionality, it's not as bad as what you had described with your experience. I think if there was any sort of improvements, it probably was done. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that it actually was, because again, it seemed to function fine with us, and after testing like I think 10 mags worth of shots with it, we haven't broken any nozzles. So I'm gonna consider that a win.
So at least from like my bit of testing and what's at least been shared from since the pre-production models, it has been relayed to them about the gasket being, well, for one, the gasket being its own kind of spec. You can't really just switch it out to like an MWS type.
That was something someone was asking in the chat too.
Yeah, that was something relayed for sure. It was about the height, and I made sure to tell whoever it was that had at least contact with voice, just make sure that they kind of get the height right. And then what was the other thing? The gas efficiency. So one of the things that I discovered, at least with this model that I had, was the output valve that they have is I believe the terminology for it would be considered a high flow valve.
Yep. Which
it's inefficient really to majority of like the MWS kind of like systems right now, even the clones. So I switched that out to the Lancer Tactical ones that y'all have available.
Yep.
Not trying to nudge the store or anything, but I'm just
I appreciate it, man. Don't worry. I'll give you your store credit. Don't worry.
And that actually like kind of fixed the initial issues like I was having. Initial issue. Say that 5 times fast. Initial issue. Yeah, and then for some reason, instead of it being inefficient with the gas, only like barely lasting like half the round count, it ended up like overextending itself to like, what was the count? I think it was like 72 or up to 76 rounds.
Oh shit!
Before I had to refill, and I believe some people said that it was like it's capable of being overfilled, which I don't really disagree with.
Sure.
It's oddly designed. I will have to agree with this with Jaeger Precision. It's kind of oddly designed. Because the outlet valve takes, your typical like MWS or like, TM spec, but but the inlet valve that has, I would say it's more in line with like the VFC. So I don't know if maybe possibly if you switch that out to maybe like a unicorn inlet, maybe it could have a little better like retention, like gas efficiency and retention and flow. But you know, there's only so much you can do.
No, of course, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of guys out there that are experimenting with the magazine too. You know, just like with the formula, as you guys would figure, just like with the guns themselves, a lot of techs are also kind of figuring out the formulas for like, all right, what is the best magazine combo? You use this magazine, you put this inlet valve and this gasket on it, and you put it on this platform with these parts, you'll get the best. Like, that's a whole other rabbit hole too. It's just gas magazines and what you can do to make them better as well. But someone had actually mentioned earlier, but talking about I think you brought up the MGC4s coming in as well. I have news on that front, by the way. I have some good news. You might be excited to hear. Which
good
MGC4?
News, everyone.
Good news, everyone. Which MGC4 did you pre-order?
Oh, I got the gray.
You got the gray Mark IV? Okay, cool. So, you know how the gray Mark IV has the Kung Fu grip? The Die-Free Co. Kung Fu grip?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I talked to Boss Man earlier today, and we haven't made an announcement yet because obviously it was so late in the day, but I'm good to start letting people know that every single one of the Mayo Gang MGC4 Mark IV series will come included, pre-installed with a actual, like a legitimate, not a clone, an actual legitimate Die-Free Co. Kung Fu grip pre-installed. So every single one, all the pictures are all going to be like updated, in a short time, but every single one of them will now come included with it. No additional charge for that as well. No additional charge for it as well. It's going to be the exact same price. We're not going to increase the price for you. It's going to remain the exact same. But that'll be the standard specifically for the Mark IV. What do you mean, RPG? I'm going to cancel my order.
Nice. That's nice for those that like it, but I'm still switching out mine. I'm kidding. Not really.
Wow. Man, we try to do cool shit for you guys. This is what we get.
Hey. I respect it.
Damn.
I said what I needed to say about the Kung Fu grip back in the podcast. If you want to hear that, go ahead and listen to the podcast.
Go check out the podcast. Make sure you go subscribe to that as well. Yeah, I like the Kung Fu. I feel like it's a very divisive grip. I feel like some people love it or some people hate it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not uncomfortable. It just depends on
such high praise.
It's not uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, it's not uncomfortable. I'm not saying it's not really a bad thing. But I think it depends on as per usual, when you're trying to personalize something, it all depends on the user.
True. Yes. Me
personally, I'm not really onto the whole vertical grips. Not yet, anyway. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the Mark IV might change my opinion. That's why I say I'm not immediately going to change it.
Going to try it out first.
But I have my options. Yeah. and this goes for whatever platform. It doesn't have to be just the gas blowbacks. It's also AEGs. Try it out before you start swapping up stuff, okay?
Happy Ghost Ninja, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about ESG grips. Stop trying to make it a thing.
I did want to add on to, and also I guess to like kind of put the info out there. Yep. If people watch this and listen in. The ADG, nods to them for kind of going almost 1-to-1 with the TM. I did notice that the feed lifts are a bit higher, much like the competitions. So whether or not that's a good thing, it might just be on when the ADGs release. But I mean, to me, that's pretty good. I think the TMs kind of do sit a little low.
Really? You think it's a little bit too low?
So yeah, not too low, not really problematic, but it works for their system. But obviously, no one really wants to import their stuff.
True.
Those that do, respect to you. If you got the wallet in the pocket, the change. But I mean, those of us that want to go with the other options or what can be available to us. I mean, I'm liking the AGTs. I mean, it's a good option. And they're one of the only stand eggs that I've seen on the market that are in black.
It is those that like strange, Batman. Though, that the feed. Like, I know what you're talking about. I think the gasket might be just like, again, not as bad as Vorsk, but definitely a little bit like higher, I would imagine. It is strange though that they went that route though, considering like, I think even in the video that Boaz did, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago when it got released? I think it was 2 weeks ago. When he took the CA apart and compared it to the MWS, you look at the bolt assembly and that whole thing was like nearly identical. Like, they got so close to making it identical, it just kind of makes you wonder, so why did they go that route with the gasket? It's not a problem by any stretch of the imagination as far as we know, but...
Oh, well, just to clarify, I'm not talking about like the gasket, the rubber piece. I'm talking about like the feed lips.
I thought you said, my bad. I thought you said the gasket.
No, the gasket's fine. It's a good height. It's the feed lips that are slightly higher. I would say like a millimeter compared to like the TMs. Gotcha. It's at the same height as the current competition.
Okay.
Although I do like at least the design wise of the feed lips that they do copy the TM. Having like the rounded out for like the BB and all that, like it's a little more rounded out.
No, I was overall happy with that one as well. And again, those are just obviously these are just the base. The classic armor ones are just being like well, I don't want to say basic, but basically the basic ones, right? So the AEG ones obviously are just becoming that much more promising as well. What was people saying? Well, I've got my trusty Magpul MOE K2 sitting in a box for it already. Yeah, I figured that's fine. Again, people are going to switch it out anyway. That's fine. We don't really care. It's just for those that do like the aesthetic, right? Like, I mean, you look at the picture of the gray one. I have it on stream right now. For anyone that's like looking at it, it's like, that's just sick, dude. That is aesthetically. If we're just talking about an aesthetic, stance, it does look absolutely amazing. And again, I have felt some pretty uncomfortable grips before in the past. This one, I don't really find uncomfortable either. I think it's very specific on what it works best on. Of course, I'm not gonna say it's the one grip to beat everything. I would never in a million years say that. But we'll say for this setup, I do think it is pretty cool. Also, what is your opinion on other colors of base rifles? Let's say, what's your opinion on OD green, by the way?
I would say go for it.
Okay. Because this was something during this meeting as well. During this meeting as well, I brought this up to Boss Man that a lot of you guys in the chat, and even during the Council of Dudes as well, I said like, hey, we want some like green stuff on there as well, right? I did bring it up, and we possibly could do it in his words, Boss Man's words only. I'm gonna quote Boss Man.
If there's enough,
there is potentially, we could potentially do an OD green. It would actually be easier to do it on a GBBR compared to an AEG for some reason. I don't know why specifically. I didn't think to ask why, but apparently it would actually not be the hardest thing in the world to do a GBBR, maybe one of the MGC4 GBRs, possibly a Mark IV in the future, to do an OD green. And if we're able to sell enough of the other color varieties of the MGC4 Mark IVs, then we actually very well could do like a green, possibly either like a Ranger green or like an OD green for the MGC4 Mark IV. Because when we had the MG11,
Ranger green,
yeah, Ranger green, baby, I'm a Ranger green slut, dude. I'm a huge Ranger green simp, brother. I love Ranger green. That's like my favorite solid tactical color. But yeah, no. So,
bro, that's the only gear I run.
Damn. I wasn't. Oh shit. We can keep that in, right, guys? We can keep that. Yeah, we're fine. Nobody caught that. Yeah, no. So like, if we sell enough of the other colors, we can do it. Because when we were teasing the MG11, the Mayo Gang 11 high kappa that we're gonna do, before it became the Zion Arms.
Here.
Yeah, I know, right? For anyone that is wondering, that pistol is still on the way, but it's not gonna be under Mayo Gang. Zion Arms wanted the design. They're like, hey, can we keep this? We're like, sure, whatever. So we gave it to them. So it's gonna be ZA11 when it comes out. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that.
Ooh.
Yeah. But when we showed out the pictures in the green version, everyone seemed to really like that. Like we got a lot of questions about the OD green variant. So we are very much looking into doing a OD green or Ranger green version of the Mark IV, which I'm trying to make it happen, guys. I'm trying to make it happen. I know a lot of you guys like the colorways, different colorways. I do too. I want to see something different than just tan and black. I would love to do an OD green or a Ranger green. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be nice to see more green.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if you remember when who was it that used to do like a lot of. I used to like intentionally try to find builds that would use like the OD green stuff. So like, what was it? The old PDI, like the Mad Bull PDI, like hand guards that they would use. The triangular ones. I used to love the green ones, dude. Those were so sick. Or even the Magpul, like what is it? Foliage green, I think was the color that they used for it. Those were always nice. I always thought that was a really, really cool color.
I mean, heck, even like the Geisley Mark IV rails, being in green.
I need more green. Even when PTS, that limited time when they fucked up, this was years ago. I don't even know if people remember this. When PTS fucked up on their EPMs and they accidentally made a green colorway for their EPMs, and everyone was like, oh, yeah, I'll buy that. They made a limited edition of those, and they never restocked them. They never did it again.
I think they did that with like some of the grips too, like not just the EPMs. I think they had like some of the grips are green too.
I think the grips came after, but the mags were definitely hit the market first, and then they were like, oh, okay, some of these are doing pretty well. I guess we'll make more of the grips too. But ever since then, man, never seen them. Never seen them ever again. They're rare. I have the green APMs. Yeah, Chaos. Yeah, he has the green ones.
It's the Holy Grail.
It's the Holy Grail. I have like 12 of them, he says. That's so funny. What are people saying? Buying an item.
Dude sitting on gold right now.
Yeah, dude, he could sell that, dude. I never wanted bedrooms because why is ACM giving an ad for like Blue Chew? What is happening?
The what?
Yeah. What is it? Oh, all the ads. Okay, that's why. Yeah, I don't know who turned ads on the stream. I swear to God, that wasn't me. A Blue Chew ad on this live stream. What is wrong with the with YouTube's algorithm?
It's late night with GI.
Oh no. Skin soft, bro. Ugh, gross.
Oh jeez, now I can't get that word out of my head. Thanks.
All right, I think that pretty much about answered all of it. Okay, this will be the last question, and you can take as long to answer this one as you'd like. Are you, as both a tech and a player, are you happy with the way Airsoft is changing? I even did a video earlier today, guys, where I said Airsoft is changing. I don't mean that AEGs are being replaced entirely, but in terms of just the systems being offered, the advancement and the R&D that's being put into GBR, and the pretty monumental shift that we're seeing from especially a lot of the older heads and longtime players, are you happy with the change that is occurring in Airsoft right now? Are you very much embracing the change? Is there any sort of pushback that you might be feeling right now, or do you have any sort of issues with the current change in Airsoft in terms of the climate shift over to GBR?
It's kind of an interesting question because it's I mean, like you said, the AEG is not going to go anywhere because it's kind of like the staple of Airsoft is the AEGs. But I've said before, and I feel like I'm a broken record, like saying it, like they've already reached the pinnacle of their evolution, shall we say. So, now we're seeing, I know Boaz calls it a renaissance, but I see it more of like, kind of like a revolution for gas blowbacks to kind of be at the same level as AEGs. Like we're starting to, thankfully with the Classic Army MWS, we're starting to see it kind of hit at the same, kind of like retail price as a, kind of mid-tier to premium AEGs that are already out there. So, it's getting that reach out. Oh, jeez. It's starting to reach out, at least for like it's becoming more available.
Yeah.
It's easier to attain. It's not like what do you call it?
It's not as exotic as it used to be.
It's not like vibranium. It's only a few are made here. Only a few can have it. We don't do that here, okay?
We don't do that here. I know exactly what you're referencing. Dude, I love that scene. We don't do that here.
What do you mean?
No, dude, my favorite one is when M'Baku is talking to, I forget what her name is, and she gave him like clapping. He's like, "You bald-headed demon." That was so good.
I mean, it's starting to become more available, like gas blowbacks and everything. We're getting the revolution, I believe, to now push boundaries with these platforms. I wouldn't say I'm embracing it. I'm just kind of like sidelining and observing as it goes, while trying to participate and kind of give my 2 cents every now and then from what I'm able to. I'm not disliking the whole shift and change. Like, I would encourage it, though, but I wouldn't be full blown, telling any of like kind of like the starters out there, or those that are kind of interested in like getting into our little hobby and sport, to dive into the gas blowback part, platform in general. Unless you're going for like something small, like a pistol, a high kappa. I'm not gonna get into like the whole high kappa aspect, but
I get it. Yeah, no, like we'd be I think pretty shitty salesmen in like a pretty shitty company too if we were telling like everyone to abandon the AEG too, and even for beginners to do GBR. I would definitely not want to do that. I always tell people like, hey, if you really want it, you can take everything that I say with a grain of salt, of course, right? You don't have to do everything that I tell you to do. It's your money. You work hard for it. You spend it how you want. But reality is, I wouldn't recommend this for whatever reason it may be. Are you looking forward to the changes? Obviously, you're not saying that you're not embracing it. When you're kind of just neutral on it. You're encouraging, people to maybe do their own research on it and everything. But are you hopeful for what the future of airsoft will look like? Because obviously we did kind of go, and still kind of feeling it now. We are kind of going through this weird motion, or like I guess movement in airsoft, where we're noticing that more and more people aren't aware of airsoft. Like, it's definitely become more common knowledge as to what it is, but the retention rate of players is definitely a fraction of what it used to be. People aren't in the hobby for as long. Do you think this is something that will help keep people in it, or are you not that hopeful?
I mean, I want to be hopeful. It can't just be devil's advocate and
Sure.
kind of like look on the dark side of things.
Yeah, of course.
Like I want to be hopeful for it, and I mean, I know right now it's a bit of like still water with kind of everything that's been going on. I mean, recently Mission Airsoft had to close their doors,
down.
and that's. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the kind of like the biggest fields that was known here in Texas. And I mean, I know there's a few fields out there that are also unfortunately shutting their doors and everything. So I think one of the things is, I would say, like, if you got a local field or a local shop or anything, kind of, do good on the community and try to support that local field or that local community, or try and encourage a group of friends to kind of like in my location, where try to like get a group of guys and like go out to like a little ranch or something, do a couple of TDMs, and maybe eventually plan out a trip over to some other town, or I don't know, maybe even go as far as to go out of state to play airsoft.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's important to, and even us, right? Like, yes, obviously we are a retailer, and we do like when you guys constantly appreciate the fact that you guys continue to support us, as well. Obviously, every dollar you spend with us literally keeps us going. But at the same time, we also do want to encourage you guys, if there is a local shop near you guys, or especially a local field, continue to support them, man. Like, even if it's just for like, the consumables, like the BBs, the batteries, just the basics, the essentials, right? Keep shopping with them if you can. Continue to go to their fields, the nearest one near you, even if it's a bit of a drive. I know it's a little bit like, it sounds almost a little bit hypocritical or preachy of me to say that, when like literally I'm so spoiled, right? I literally live maybe like like walking distance from like one of our local fields here. I'm like 8 minutes tops drive with traffic, right? So I'm super close to it, but I do want to still encourage people, not just as Airsoft GI, but also just as another Airsofter as well. I don't want Airsoft to go away, which is why we've definitely been really pushing for and working with Lancer, to encouraging them to invest more into the GBR scene for you guys, because we want to be able to offer stuff that's going to keep people invested. We want to have options for people to be like not bored with the same thing over and over again, because I get it, some people just, I'm a lifer. No matter what I do, no matter how bad the products may get in the future, if they were to get really bad, I would still play no matter what. But I know not everyone's like that, and so I want to encourage people to, get other people involved in it. Continue supporting local businesses as well, because that's ultimately what's going to happen. We want friendly competition. We want rivals, not enemies. That's what we're hoping for. We want healthy growth. There's enough room in this country for Airsoft to grow. Everyone can grow together. There's enough of the pie for everyone to succeed. So, but yeah, man, dude, thank you so much, Primetech, for hopping in on the stream, dude. This was super cool. I really appreciate you coming on the stream. I'm gonna roll out the red carpet for you again. You have the entire stream. Feel free to go ahead and plug yourself. Where can people find you? How can people reach out to you? And how can they get a hold of you for possible tech services?
So, for one, thank you for, taking the time to even reach out to me and very courteously, ask if I have the time to, come on stream, do this for you guys. Try to be helpful to the community as much as I can. For ways that you want to reach out to me, I'm on Discord. You can also reach out to me over on Instagram. If anything, I'll probably put the handle there like later in the server for anybody that wants to.
Yeah.
It usually with the same. It's the same name that I have on most places. So
yeah, it's the same exact one.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't have to reach out to me to just kind of set up a build or anything. If you're looking to kind of just get some advice, I'll try to help you as much as I can from what I'm familiar with and my experience, and I'll even refer to some others that are I would consider more of an expert or more experienced than myself. I don't really put myself out there as the all-time premium technician or anything. There are clearly other people that have dedicated a lot more time into the technical aspects in the industry and all that. So I'll help in the best way that I can. If not, I'll refer you to anyone in the community or anyone that I know personally that will help you out.
No, but honestly, in all seriousness, I'm gonna hype you up. I'm gonna glaze you a little bit. You've definitely done some I know you've done some pretty big projects before in the past. You definitely do have experience, a lot more than some of the people. And like you said earlier, good techs are very hard to find, and not just good as in skill, but also good as in honest. And that is actually something that we recognize and we appreciate with pretty much any tech that's out there, that is not only again just good, but also takes the time, works with our clients. And here's the thing. Obviously, yes, we have our own, tech services that we provide for other people. And if it's just too expensive, or maybe it's, take too long, whatever the case might be, if you can't go through us, by all means, guys like Cutter, guys like you, Primetech, are great options to go to as well. I would encourage everyone here listening, to go through them as well. If for any one of these three, us three, for any tech project. So, but thanks, man. Again, thank you so much for coming on the stream. Hopefully, I can have you on again in the future. I am totally open to having you, and maybe, who knows, maybe I'll have more than one person on at a time.
Maybe a debate.
Oh, hell no. Oh, dude, no.
It's gonna be too long.
Not too long. No, not the length. That shit's gonna get way too chaotic, and someone's gonna start getting someone's gonna bring out, and then Hitler, and then it's all right, no, we're done. We can't do that.
But what about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Oh no. What about the droid attack? Dude, no, absolutely. Anakin did nothing wrong, and then I was like, okay, and that's our time. That's how we're gonna end it. All right, man. You have yourself a wonderful night, dude.
Likewise.
All right, take it easy, bro. All right, that was Primo Technician. What a freaking great guy, man. What a freaking awesome legend there. I do want to give some shout outs as well to some people that have been getting their orders in. I didn't ignore you. Again, I get so into the conversation, sometimes it's hard for me to break away. But I want to give shout outs to our boys here. Ugh. Squeeze me. Give a shout out to Darwin's Arbiter. Got themselves a brand new HK416 A5 Mod 1. And also to our man, Mr. Munko, if I'm saying that name correctly. Mr. Munko got themselves a Gen 2 Hellion, got himself on a Daily Shocker. Guys, the Daily Shockers right now are coming to a close. You got to make sure you take advantage of the Shockers while you still can. By the end of the night, those deals are going to expire, so make sure to go ahead and do so as well. But Anakin did nothing. Okay, Corbin, all right. Oakley dokley. Woo. Whoo, I don't know how to. Oof. All right, moving on. Oi, 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 oi. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Xeon was just. RPG. No, hell no. Hell no, I'm not even acknowledging that. VFC Colt versus MWS Stands debate. Bruh. I mean, that's a great pitch. It's all legit. That's a great pitch for a freaking short. Right? What if we had like a political debate? Make it like a presidential like candidates, right? But they're all like representing again, Cult of the VFC versus the Church of MWS, right? Oh, that'd be so hilarious. Fun stream. I'm glad you guys had fun. Again, I haven't done a guest appearance on one of these streams in a while, so it's always really fun when I can actually have someone, especially when it's one of you guys as well, one of the longtime viewers. Someone that has, especially from a text perspective too. I think that's always very interesting because, again, I may be able to diagnose stuff I get pretty good at being able to diagnose stuff, like pretty spot on. I get really lucky. But I myself am not a tech. Like, I'm not a tech. I don't ever proclaim to be. We definitely work with some of the best techs in the industry, and we definitely know some of the best techs in the industry. Obviously, Cutter, Prime Tech, of course, and a couple others as well. And he's right. Good techs are hard to find. But yeah, man, that was super fun to be able to have him on as well. I took 3 friends out of state, and it was a lot of stress, dude. First of all, road trip, multiple people, and out of state. That sounds like a lot. Warzone. That sounds like a lot. No mags are facing only Michael back. So he's a 90s kid. Got an got that ad blocker set to Wumbo. Oh, it's so funny. Anyone else getting fucking unskippable ad during the live stream is killing me trying to follow along. Really? It's bad. Dude, I don't know what happened. I swear to Jesus, I didn't click anything. I don't know what happened. Why there's so many ads? First of all, I'll be honest. I didn't even know you get ads during a live stream like this. I had no idea. So that's the only way to keep GBR alive and competitive. If you have to use it more Speedsoft. I don't know. I don't think GBRs need to be HPA tapped in order for them to be competitive, dude. I've gone to so many MSW events where dudes are just straight rocking, MWS's no HPA tap. But it's funny because when you see like AMS events, they are HPA tab. Like a lot of them are. I don't know. It's kind of a weird kind of like separation there. But yeah, when I've done out of all my years of doing Milsim West events, when I see an MWS or like GBRs, vast majority of them are not HPA tapped. Vast majority of them are not HPA tapped. They're running them like not stock. They definitely put some money into the upgrades for sure. Like, the guys that are running the MWS specifically know what they're doing, and they're going, like, all out with the upgrades for it. So, I think they're pretty damn competitive as is, honestly. As well. And I put in the info. What is the info? What is that as well? Oh, yeah, I should be all caught up on all of these. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we should be all caught up on all these. All right, scrolling down the most recent questions. What happened to Jeddah was just, oh my god, all these different, like, what if we got, like, super political stream, but it was, like, Star Wars politics, you know what I mean? That'd be so funny. The Jedi Council rage baited Anakin for the entire war. That's a funny way of looking at it. That's funny phrasing, Victor. It's like, yeah, they just rage baited him too hard, That's why he killed all those kids. Whoa. What happened with the Thursday live stream? Is that rolled over into Thursday? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Was it 1,000? Not yet, Ruben. The dude hasn't claimed it yet. The dude, I mean, I don't want to assume, but the person, hasn't claimed their prize yet. I don't know what happened. Like, again, it's super simple. We make it so easy. We make it easy on you. If you guys remember that. Yeah, we make it super easy and simple to be able to claim their prize. If he's not here, what can we do? You know, what can we possibly do? Remember, the Imperium Man and the Emperor Man is the light of darkness. For in the grim darkness of the 41st month, there is only war. So that's different. Freaking Warhammer, dude. Like there is no good guys. There is no good guys. Even as a Tau player, you know what I mean. Even as someone in terms of like which chapter, they like, or which chapter of the Space Marines I like. You know, Salamanders. Like at the end of the day, like there objectively is no good faction. There is no good guy, right? It just isn't. And there's just war. It's only war. And I think that kind of is what makes 40K like very special, right? Is because again, it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of nice. It kind of keeps up. It kind of maintains itself, if that makes sense. But again, that could be another reason why people don't like it and prefer things like Star Wars, where there is objectively a good side as well. Even if sometimes when you get shows like, oh my God, what is it called? Like Andor, and it shows that, hey, you know, even though the cause is just, you know, some of the methods they use are really questionable. You dirty xenophobe, Rages in Black Templar, not Grey Knights. Corman, I would have figured you would have been a Grey Knight stan, you know. Although Imperial Fists are really, really cool. Like that's a really, really cool color scheme they got. We'll say, at least for GBRs, an end pass or separate dedicated flow valves would be appreciated in order to reach field limits. We've been taking a lot of that, but that reminded me, that was another thing too. That has been something as well that has been taken into account. And yeah, there's stay tuned for some news on that front. End passes are going to be a thing included in a certain platform. It's going to be very fucking cool. Again, we're genuinely trying to take your guys' feedback and apply that specifically for LT to make their stuff, because we want to be able to have that stuff too. No, I hate librarians and psychers. Oh, that's funny. End pass mandatory. I will say, I think for a lot of the higher end GBRs, I think an end pass of some kind should be included. I think so. I definitely think so. How do I get in the giveaway? Monkey God, I'm going to leave the link to the rules again for everyone to go and read for themselves during these last 3 minutes before we close out the stream. Any $20 or greater order and you're automatically entered. Any $20 or greater order and you're automatically entered. Just make sure you order before Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hell yeah, and pass in my Mayo pistol. I'm gonna crank that bitch all the way up. I'm shooting 550 with this pistol, bro. Oh, that's so funny. How's the patch packet sales going? We're running out yet? We're about halfway. We made a lot. To be fair, we made a lot of these. We're about halfway sold out, but for the Double Trouble mystery box, for anyone that's curious, when I checked, we had 4 left. We have 4 Double Trouble mystery boxes left before we sell out, so be sure to get your orders for those as well. And pass up, maybe, I can't say other way, maybe. I'm taking the gamble on the Mark IV because of GI's transparency. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to, again, it may be included for the end pass, obviously, like that's going to be included in like feature models. But yes, no, in general, yes, we do try to be as transparent as we possibly can be. Obviously, there are some things we genuinely cannot say because, like, hey, trade secret for something, right? Like, companies want us to, like, you know, stay hush about like a certain product coming out or, you know, in development of certain things. Obviously, that goes for everything. But in terms of just like the selling process of stuff or development of something, like especially when it comes to stuff that we have the insider info on, like yeah, of course I think it helps too because other companies saw what we did with Lancer and like how much we've been able to help them be a lot more transparent, be more liked in the community, and now they're like, all right, I guess you can go ahead and say it. It's fine. You can give more secrets away, you know. Now get my GBR Mimic and make me 40k Black Templar Mayo Gang. 11. Damn, man, anything else? You want some side salad with that? You want a cookie with that too, Corman? Damn, that's a tall order. So can I get 350 in the patches box? Yes, and pass it an and pass it an AEG. Isn't that functionally an HPA? Yeah, I think that is. For short bolt system, because I need an MWS short bolt. Your order has been successfully placed. BB. I see a. Is that person's last name really? Whoa, that's cool. To a Mr. Moo, literally spelled MMO, got himself a Glock 17 Gen 5, baby, and Mr. Warzone got himself a $20 gift voucher. There you go. Got himself an entry, guys. That is gonna be it for tonight's stream, man. That is gonna be it for tonight's stream. I had an absolute blast hanging out with all you guys. That was super fun. That was super cool having a guest on like that. It's definitely not it's definitely something I used to do a lot more back then, and I hopefully we can do more of it in the future. I definitely plan on doing more. In the near future, so stay tuned for those. But guys, that's gonna be it for tonight's stream. I had an absolute blast hanging out with every single one of you guys. Again, make sure to go out and watch Thursday's stream as well. That's actual giveaway night, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Let's get as many eyes on Thursday's stream as possible. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, and I'm never going to forget it. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Take it easy, and shout out to our boy Promtech